Hey everybody, it's Michael here from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video review. Today we're looking at the Umarex Glock 19 CO2 BB pistol. Now this gun is available in both our Canada and US Replica Airgun stores, so if you're interested in buying it, you can check us out there at replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for the US. And if you're in Canada, buy from the Canadian store. If you're in the US, buy from the US store. Pretty simple. All right, you'll notice we have 4 guns on the table because I'm going to be comparing the Umarex Glock 19 to some other pistols that I have. Some of them are from Umarex, some of them from other companies, but this is the one we're looking at today here. The Glock 19, okay? Licensed replica. The only steel BB, 4.5 millimeter steel BB licensed replica through Umarex, licensed by Glock, or through Umarex by Glock, however you want to say that. This gun is made in Taiwan, so we'll get right into some of the specs here. I will compare it to these other ones in a bit. It does come in this clamshell case. You know, I would have liked to have seen something a little bit fancier from Glock. I mean, it's a Glock, right? Should have been in a nice box, I think, with like some Glock, really nice graphics on there. That's what I would have liked to have seen. If I was in charge of this program, that's what I would have done. So with 410 FPS, 12 grams CO2, steel BB, 16 rounds, drop-free magazine. It is a stick mag, metal slide, and Weaver Picatinny style rail. Okay, not too fancy. Might as well just quickly show you the manual while we're here. It does come with your typical manual, right? So you got some more specs here. Anything else we missed there? A smoothbore barrel, deep, drop-free mag, metal slide, Weaver. Yeah, all that's the same. Okay, pretty much 16 rounds. You're gonna find in these manuals, you know, just how to load BBs, how to use the sights. There is a safety on the mag, or sorry, on the trigger. There's basically 2 safeties on the trigger, right? One for putting it in safe, and one is a trigger safety, so you actually have to press that in to make it work. How to load CO2, how to load your mags, you know, all of that fun stuff. How to aim. Okay, typical manual. All right, getting more into the specs again. It's 4.5 millimeter steel BB. I did mention that. It does use 12 gram CO2 cartridges. That's what we expect it to use. It is non-blowback, so there's no blowback action. It weighs 1.6 pounds. Again, it has 16 rounds that are held in the metal stick magazine. I'll show you that in a bit. It is a smoothbore barrel that's 4.25 inches in length, and it does have a double action only trigger with that typical barrel that comes out the front when you pull the trigger. Kind of a different setup. It's almost like the barrel is kind of the hammer because it slaps back and I think it hits the valve. I'm not sure how the internal mechanism works, but that's my theory. When you pull the trigger, the barrel moves forward, which allows a BB to go in there into the breech area, and then it comes back, hits a valve, and seals up nicely so that you don't lose any CO2 and you get maximum FPS. It's actually a pretty cool design. Just, you know, not your conventional real gun design. It's more of a BB gun design. All right, it does have a claimed FPS of 410. Again, it has that metal slide with a polymer frame. The slide is fixed, and it does have fixed front and back, kind of white dot sights, white dot in the front with that sort of square thing in the back there, right? Again, it's Glock licensed through Umarex. So Umarex has the Glock license. I believe they're the only airgun company right now that has it. You never know if Glock's going to open it up to other companies, but for now, it's just Umarex. All right, we're going to compare it really quickly to a couple other pistols. Now, this is the renowned SA-177. Okay, you can't get this gun anymore. I have reviewed it. It is very Glock-like, and I think because it is so Glock-like, Umarex had to discontinue it because I believe Glock approached them and said, nope, this is not cool with us. Either discontinue it or expect the wrath of Glock. So I think that's kind of what happened. I'd say the next closest gun, especially in size, is this ISSC M22. Right now, this is a blowback gun. Same with the SA-177. This is a full-size mag gun. This is a stick mag gun, very similar to the to the Glock, right? But this, nice gun, blowback action, full-size mag. I have reviewed the SA177 and the ISSC M22. I do own the real 22 long rifle version of this gun, by the way. Nice gun, very Glock-like. The version that I have in 22 long rifle is slightly different than this because Glock, again, approached them and said, we got to change a few things to make this cool with us. All right, last but not least, we have this Beretta. It's kind of Glock-like, but you know what? It's the APX. I've reviewed it as well. Similar in shape. It's sort of Beretta's Glock looking, has that metal slide, the metal slide that's kind of squared off like a Glock, has a similar Glock trigger guard, look to it. Another gun that's very similar to the Glock or even the SA177, I would have to say is the Umarex 9XP. I do not have it on hand, or I'd show you, but I believe the 9XP, the Umarex 9XP, was brought out by Umarex to replace the SA177. It's very, very similar. It's just there's a little bit more going on, cutouts and notches and whatnot with the slide to make it, I think, a little more copacetic with Glock. All right, let's do a quick walk around of this gun here. Okay, we'll look at it nice and close here. Okay, so the slide again is fixed. It doesn't move. The slide catch release is fixed and molded in. I believe that's metal, but the frame is polymer and plastic. Even these, you'd use these little tabs on both left and right side to do the field stripping of this gun. But you'll notice that, even the way that the frame is with this texturing is very, very Glock-like. It looks like a Glock. It feels like a Glock. It just doesn't function exactly like a real 9mm because it's a BB gun and doesn't have a working slide. But you'll notice the trigger safety does work, right? If you don't press it down, it doesn't work. You also have this cross safety as well, right? You can push through, okay? And that's another safety for the gun, probably something they wanted to have on there. That wouldn't be found on the typical Glock. Glock licensing, as you can see, right, throughout, right? We do have the stick magazine, but I'll show you that in a second. We do have the nice sights. They are fixed, right? They are fixed. The slide is not cut out. Doesn't need to be because the barrel or the slide is not movable, so it doesn't really matter, but it looks good. Okay, got the model number there. Got your white down in the front. You'll notice the barrel is fairly recessed. And I was talking about how the trigger comes out, or the barrel comes out when you pull the trigger. That's what I'm talking about, okay? That's very typical of these lower cost BB pistols that are fairly simple in design. Okay, officially Glock licensed. Right, there we go, more serial numbers. Okay. I like that the warning instructions are very muted on the bottom of the actual trigger guard, so they're kind of out of the way. They're not super obvious. You also have another serial number here and the markings of the caliber with the F for the European market. There's your rail if you want to add a laser or some sort of accessory. Okay, moving on to the actual magazine. Just a typical magazine, stick magazine. It is metal, right? You pull this down. It's got the follower that locks in there so you can easily load it, right? Put your BBs in there. Once your BBs are in, you just release the follower. Okay, it does have the Glock licensing on the butt plate. The butt plate does make it look like it's a full-size dropout magazine, which is nice. And then you also have this removable plate, and this would be for putting your CO2 in. You'll notice it has a CO2 Allen key instead of a big tab hanging out. So that's nice, more realistic. And you have the built-in Allen key right in the actual cover. So nice setup. You're not going to lose it. It's easy to find. Everything's nice, right? And, it looks realistic, very discreet. Everything's hidden that you'd want to be hidden. Okay, really nice. Like I said, feels good. 1.6 pounds is probably pretty close to the real weight of the Glock 19, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't own the gun. I haven't done my research on that, but I'm pretty sure just by feel, and I have used Glocks, I have shot Glocks, that it's pretty similar in weight. Now, I haven't field tested this gun. I haven't really even shot it yet. I do want to shoot it, but I don't have a chronograph that's working right now. I haven't had a lot of luck with chronographs, as you know. My newest purchase, which I bought a couple years ago, these things should last longer than 2 years, died on me recently. The one before that wasn't working very good. You know, there's not a lot of companies out there that make them. I might try a different company and use a different brand because I just haven't had a lot of luck with my cronies. But when I get a proper working chrony, we'll start doing more field test shooting videos again. I might just do an outside for fun video just to shoot it and see how it works. But other than that, we're going to have to wait on the field test shooting videos for the results. Let's get into the pros and the cons. Keep in mind, I'm not going to talk about FPS or accuracy because I don't have any information there yet. But the Umarex Glock 19 has a great weight to it and feel to it. Its build quality seems really good. And overall, it's a nice looking replica of an original Glock 19. It looks the part, you know, working parts, slide and stuff, blowback action, no, but in terms of looks, it's bang on. Again, it's fully Glock licensed. It's easy to see the white dot sight in the front and the half square notch in the back. It does have that working trigger safety and a safety on the trigger to disable the gun completely. The recessed barrel is nice. It adds to the realism, gives you that 9mm look. And it's nice that it has an accessorial like the real Glock for adding lasers or tack lights or whatever you want to put on there. It's also nice that the stick magazine butt plate gives the illusion of a full-size magazine and covers up the Allen key CO2 screw. I also like that the warning instructions are nice and discreet under the trigger and they're not super bright. They're kind of muted in color, so that's nice. And so far, the only Glock official licensed 4.5mm steel BB pistol that I know of is this one. So if you're looking for a 4.5mm steel BB Glock that's licensed through, you know, that's officially licensed through Umarex, has the Glock licensing, and you're not going to be in trouble for it. If you make a video, for instance, Glock isn't going to come after you, then this is the only one that I know of. Now, in terms of the trigger, it is double action only. Glock has that striker fired trigger. It's kind of sort of a single/double action trigger. It's a little different. It's kind of somewhere between the two, but it isn't a bad trigger. It's a little long, but it's not super heavy. Overall, it's pretty decent, so you're not going to be too upset with the trigger. And the fact that this gun is claimed 410 FPS means it should be pretty strong, should have some decent power. And I imagine you're going to get well over 100 shots just because of the design of the gun. This type of design of BB pistol has historically been very efficient for CO2. All right, a few cons. The fixed slide with no blowback action is a bit of a downer. I would have liked to have seen blowback action. Everybody likes that in these pistols. It has that stick magazine rather than a full-size magazine, but that's pretty commonplace with these lower-cost non-blowback guns, so kind of to be expected. The sights are non-adjustable. Again, another trait of a lower-cost airgun is non-adjustable sights. Very rarely do you see adjustable sights on airguns unless you get into the higher-end ones. And I would have liked to have seen nicer packaging. I think Glock products deserve nicer packaging than the standard clamshell. I get it that the clamshell, you can see into it when it's on the shelf and you can see the product, but I think a lot of people are going to want a nicer, proper box with this gun. All right, again, this gun is available in our Canada and US replica airgun stores, so check it out. If you want to buy it, I think it's definitely worth it. It's not overly expensive. Everyone's been looking for, waiting for, wanting a Glock licensed replica, so here it is. Will there be a blowback, full-size dropout mag version down the road? Umarex has suggested there will. Let's wait and see. In terms of airsoft Glocks, there are full blowback airsoft licensed Glocks for Umarex with full-size magazines, but unfortunately we can't import them into Canada because the FPS is too low. I've explained that in other videos, but it just doesn't work for us for importation at this point. All right, thanks for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Also come on down to replicaairguns.com where I'll have a full article with additional photos of this gun and links to buy it there too. And while you're there, check out our Canada and our US online Replica Airgun stores over at replicaairguns.ca and replicaairguns.us where we sell air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.